Morning show. I am Lisa Marie Falbo.
And I'm Cara Di Falco. And Lisa, we were just commenting, it's already been a weird Friday. We definitely have like Mercury in retrograde, 7 planets in the age of Aquarius. I don't know. It's a weird day.
It's a weird day. It's a weird time. It's been a weird decade so far.
At the very least.
But at least it's not snowing or icing or sleeting or all of those things today.
Or
it's
all of the above. Yeah, exactly. At least not
day.
at the moment. And not at the moment, it is not. And we got a great show planned for everybody today.
Yes, we do. We're talking to Dolores Catania. You know Dolores from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They're coming out with their newest season, February 17th, so we'll get the lowdown on that. Plus, we're cooking up a Valentine's Day dish with Dish It Girl, Dina DeLisa Gonzer.
And Lisa, I'm sure you remember the Bruce Springsteen commercial from the Super Bowl. So we're going to tell you why that was pulled from YouTube. And we're going to talk to some New Jersey Democrats and Republicans about the message. Plus, legendary actor is selling his home here in New Jersey, and we are going to take a look inside. But as Lisa and I were just talking about, we are going to start off with what has been what's on everyone's mind this past week, the past 2 weeks, which is the weather. And Meteorologist Mike Favetta joins us. And Mike, my mother says, please make it stop.
I agree. I agree. I've had enough with the snow. A little bit too much snow. So much snow happening all at once. I think we've had our snow fill going into the forecast here. So I want to bring the forecast maps wide and show you what's happening this morning because it's cold. If you haven't noticed already, that air is chilly, and we'll start off in the northern section of the state. These are your wind chills right now across northern New Jersey. You have 13 right over there in Morristown in northern New Jersey. 13 is what it feels like, even up in Hackensack. And you head down over toward Newark, and with a gust of wind, it actually feels like 6 degrees. I'm laughing because it's almost funny and comical how cold it is. Back over towards Somerset this morning, it feels like 9. So this cold weather is here to stay, and we likely won't see a reprieve from this cold weather, at least until we get to later on next week, because there's more snow on the way. If you're starting your morning this morning down in, say, Monmouth County, there towards Spring Lake, you have a wind chill of 18 degrees, and then you head a little further down toward Atlantic City and out toward LBI, and you have a wind chill of 18. So it's going to stay cold this morning. We'll go over to our forecast maps for today, and with all of the cold that remains, we of course are waiting for our next round of snow. The snow comes in on Sunday, and it will likely be mixed with a little bit of ice because that's going to be an issue, given that we have already some snowpack on the ground. Any ice that would come in would make for a pretty messy scene, given that it's Valentine's Day on Sunday. That's the day for our next potential storm, and folks want to get out. Maybe they want to go have some nice dinner out with their honey and enjoy some time, but I think the roads will likely be a little slick and slippery, especially as we get toward later on in the day with that ice coming in. So for today, the cold weather remains. It stays chilly through the early morning into the afternoon, and likely see temperatures hold in the probably 30s at best, likely not climb very much beyond freezing today. In fact, over the next few days, it stays cold. We'll talk more about that, and I'll be sure to get this camera working so I can see you. That's coming up in just a bit.
Mike, thank you so much. The information's good, whether or not we can see his face. So we always appreciate it.
Yeah, it looks like Valentine's Day is going to be a dud for a lot of people, but I don't know about you, Cara, but I was planning on spending it as I've spent nearly every day lately, chilling at home.
Chilling at home. That was it. Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, Gerald, our producer Gerald might laugh at me, maybe not, but I'm going to give myself a shameless plug. We've got great Valentine's Day recipes on caradefalco.com for you, so you can stay home and cook something delicious for your loved one instead.
Hey, I liked how you slid right in there with that. Great marketing. Well, a lot of people absolutely hate this weather, present company included. And there's people like Robert Schott from Cranford. Talk about someone who is making the best out of this snowy winter. Check out the incredible snow sculptures he makes on his front lawn. This time, he made a 14-foot snow sculpture of the Lincoln Memorial.
This is incredible. Look at this thing. Like,
Unbelievable. I mean, unfortunately, he just has so much snow to work with to be able to pull this off. But
the snow and the time, quite frankly.
yeah, what a visionary.
But
In the
really, how
past,
creative.
he's made Olaf from the movie Frozen, very apropos.
Yes.
Snoopy laying on top of his doghouse. And
Aw.
he even made a replica of a car with Thelma and Louise.
I love it. You know what? Listen,
Random.
I'm one who doesn't necessarily mind the snow so much. I enjoy skiing and I try. So I'm kind of down with this guy where, it's like, it's here. Let me at least have some fun with it and be creative.
Look at the details on that car.
That is incredible.
Wow. You know what? I wonder if this guy in the summer, like I've been to, down the shore where they have the sandcastle contests, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the same guy that builds, those big giant castles you see, right?
Yeah, you would think, or does like ice sculpture or like the chainsaw car. I don't know. I just feel like he's definitely got like some other creative elements going on in his life. But we love it. We appreciate it.
Cool. Very cool. Happy we could have shouted him out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lisa, we got a couple of other things going on around the state today. CVS started to make COVID vaccine appointments this week at several New Jersey locations. Governor Murphy says they're expected to get about 19,000 doses through the Federal Pharmacy Partnership. If you want to try and schedule an appointment, you can check with the CVS website. In the meantime, more than 1 million people have already been vaccinated here in New Jersey. New Jersey surpassed the 1 million COVID-19 vaccination mark on Monday. Governor Phil Murphy said, to put that in perspective, though, that's only about 2.5% of the population, and the state's goal is to vaccinate 70%. So we still have a long way to go, unfortunately, but hopefully, every little bit counts, and we're on our way at the very least. So Lisa, we were talking a little bit earlier about that Jeep commercial in the Super Bowl. It was starring New Jersey's Bruce Springsteen. It's been pulled from YouTube. This is right after, unfortunately, the boss was revealed to be in the middle of a DWI case. TMZ is reporting that Springsteen was arrested on November 14th at Gateway National Recreation Area in Sandy Hook, cited for DWI, reckless driving, and consuming alcohol in a closed area. The Super Bowl ad titled "The Middle" shows Springsteen driving a Jeep. We're going to talk about the ad itself in a few minutes with a couple of special guests. And police caught up with a man who allegedly stole $187,000 worth of jewelry from stores across New Jersey. Police say he grabbed $77,000 from one high-end Burlington County jewelry store. Investigators were able to link him to multiple jewelry store robberies in 3 states. 22-year-old Michael Larby was arrested Wednesday in Delaware by the U.S. Marshal's Office and is being charged with second-degree theft.
As if us New Jerseyans haven't suffered enough this year, New Jersey's property taxes went up again last year. In fact, according to a report by the USA Today network, New Jersey property taxes have increased every year since 1998. The average property tax bill, $9,000. According to that report, 1 in 5 New Jersey towns saw property value drop while tax bills went up.
And Lisa, I mean, you and I both own homes, property here in the state. I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal. I mean, you at least are having a first child, but you still got 5 years before the kid benefits from those property taxes.
Again, this is above my pay grade, but the trend has to stop. Like when I look at property taxes and when I look at colleges, like the bubble eventually has to burst on this, because who can afford to live here at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. But if anybody does have the money to live here and they're looking, we have a new real estate listing for you. We're going to show you a house that Leo Getz could definitely sell. If you know who Leo Getz is, you're definitely a Joe Pesci fan. The actor's Lavalette home is up for sale, and you have to see this. It is beachfront. It is gorgeous, but it's also a shrine to his movies with memorabilia everywhere. The Art Deco property sits right on the shoreline and has 8 bedrooms and 7,200 square feet. It's listed for a cool $6.5 million because, New Jersey's not expensive enough. Who doesn't have money to just drop like that?
That house is gorgeous. I love that he has his movie memorabilia out, because I like when stars are like, oh, I don't really care. Like, they pretend like they don't, but he actually does. And he has a lot to be proud of over the course of his career. But I guess Joe Pesci didn't like the property taxes here either.
Apparently not. And really, again, who could blame him? Because at over $6 million, I'm sure the property taxes are. Whew.
That is a cool room, cool movie room.
Yes.
I have to check with my banker so if I can put it in an offer.
See if you can put in an offer. Yeah, let me know. Maybe like we should get a couple of friends together and we can all pitch in.
more like half the state.
Yeah, we can all take a wing.
So we're talking about the Springsteen Super Bowl ad with a New Jersey Democrat and Republican. Also ahead, Dolores Catania from the Real Housewives of New Jersey is here to talk about the new season of her Bravo show.
Hi, I'm Debbie Peterson, founder of the Wellness Gala. I'm very excited to bring you our television show, Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala. Each week, we'll be bringing you experts in the fields of health, beauty, and wellness. We'll also bring you great tools and options to help you lead your most fulfilling life. You can watch Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala on News 12 Plus throughout the New York metropolitan area. You can find it at Verizon Fios Channel 530 or Optimum Channel 61.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown?
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Favetta and see if there's more winter weather on the way. And unfortunately, I think we know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I think you do know the answer to that. But it's not just snow this time, because the snow is fun. Right, guys? You get outside, you go sledding with the kids or the local neighbors. I have my 20-month-old niece, which I enjoy sledding with. So it's always a good time. But ice, not so fun. And that's what may occur this weekend this time for Valentine's Day, the ice potential. And this is the kind of freezing rain glaze that will cling to the power lines and the tree branches, weighing them down. A Valentine's Day in the dark for some, maybe not so fun, because that is where the weather models are now trending to an ice storm going into Sunday, Monday, and maybe even into Tuesday. Something that meteorologists have been watching for the last several days, but now it looks to be coming into view, showing that you see all of this shade of blue here, rather shade of pink that I'm circling in blue, across the northern half of the state. So basically you go Turnpike north and you see this shade of pink, and this is all ice that will take us into the late morning hours on Sunday, on Valentine's Day, transitioning into some steady ice and freezing rain throughout Sunday night. Now, all along the southern portion of New Jersey, this is all rain. So I think that with the rain staying offshore, all of that wet weather staying down to our south, there could be this prolonged period of ice that takes us into not just Sunday, but even into Monday morning. See, this is Monday afternoon here, and there is still that ice falling, so it could accumulate or accrete to several inches going into the end of the day Monday, because that same area with these darker shades kind of embedded here in northern New Jersey, that's where we have the greatest potential for seeing a little bit more of that icing threat going into later Sunday. So it's going to be, I think, one of these days where we'll watch throughout the weekend and into Monday. But overall, the worst potential of power outages will be the northern half of the state, or the greatest potential, because south of the Turnpike, it's mostly a rain event due to the proximity of that cold air and the storm. There's a lot of meteorology involved with how ice storms actually happen and freezing rain events, so I won't bore you with that. But I don't think it's going to be snow this time, Lisa Marie and Cara, because we simply have too much warm air that's working into the storm, and so it's one of those kind of yucky events rather than a pretty nice snowfall like we had the past few storms.
Yeah, well, it's all very romantic, it sounds like, right? We lose our power, we can light the candles.
Exactly.
It really sets the mood.
Make it romantic.
Lisa, always the ever optimist you are. She's like, oh, we'll just light some candles and make it romantic.
As long as you have to go out and clear the car from the ice,
as long as somebody else is clearing the driveway.
Exactly.
We're good. Mike, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. All right, guys. So we have been talking about the Bruce Springsteen Super Bowl ad, and we have, it's called The Middle, where it calls on Americans to unite. Now, some people absolutely loved the message, and of course, others just love Bruce. Other Republicans and Democrats are both panning the ad. So let's take a look. All right, guys. So we have a couple of guests, or I think we have at least one guest able to join us this morning to kind of talk about the message of the ad. So we have Republican Matt Rooney from the New Jersey conservative news site Save Jersey. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So tell us, what did you think of the ad?
Well, the message of the ad itself is great, but as with everything else in life, you have to look to the context. And the gentleman, the boss, that Jeep decided to deliver this message is one of the nastiest partisans right now in the entertainment culture. I'm sad to say it because I'm a Jersey guy, grew up listening to Bruce's music, and I like most of it. But he has, in just the past several months, joked about leaving the country if his candidate, Joe Biden, lost the presidential election. He called for an exorcism in Washington, D.C. He's inferred before that most Republicans are living in a different time, suggesting that the party's racist or homophobic. That's not the kind of person that you should pick to then turn around after the election's over and urge everybody to come together by buying a Jeep. It just reeks of insincerity. And I think that's why a lot of people on the right don't like it. I think it's very telling that a lot of folks on the left are complaining, and they've actually been some of the most vocal critics because of exactly what I just said. They believe that pretty much everybody that doesn't agree with them is a homophobic racist. So the whole idea of Bruce Springsteen trying to get them to lock arms with anyone on the right, they find abhorrent.
Matt, do you think that kind of speaks maybe more to the larger issue? Because I know that I've heard a number of people say that they kind of feel the same way about President Biden's message of trying to unite the country when they feel that that's maybe a challenge that we might be beyond repairing.
I don't think we're behind repairing our national fabric, which is admittedly a little bit torn. It's been torn at various points. Back in the 19th century, it was torn much worse than it was today. But here's the key, I think. We need to understand that if we're going to reach the middle, we don't get to the middle by degrading our opponents and invalidating or canceling them as human beings. And unfortunately, I know we're raised to think that who started it doesn't matter, but the cancel culture and radical political correctness and this change in our culture, which has poisoned our ability to have a discussion, started on the left. So if Bruce and people that think like him about politics and about the world really do want to bring us together, it's got to start by saying, hey, Republicans, I don't agree with everything that you stand for. And I know it goes both ways, but I don't think you're all vile racists just because you feel differently than I do about entitlement reform or school choice or any number of issues that we should be talking about right now. You can't just lob the kind of poisonous rhetoric all throughout the campaign season and even in the off season, and then again turn around on the Super Bowl and say, hey guys, why don't we just, buy some more of my music on iTunes and buy a Jeep and just forget it ever happened? That's not going to solve it.
Well, unfortunately, we wanted to have the Democratic side come into this conversation with John Wisniewski, but he's having technical issues, so we're just going to keep it here with you, Matt. Is there even a middle at this point?
Well, you're definitely not going to find that middle on social media because as anybody who's had a social media account knows, unfortunately, our tech overlords have designed a system which actually amplifies not only fringe opinions, but also profits off of keeping us at each other's throats. So you're not going to find it there. But yeah, I think in your average American small town, in your average city, most people are fundamentally the same. They want to get up, they want to go to work, They want to earn their own money, and they want to keep most of their own money. And they also want to take care of their neighbor, but they also don't want to constantly be told that they're evil or wrong or somehow un-American for wanting to keep most of the fruits of their labor and be able to take care of their family. I mean, those are basic human traits, and they used to be the core of who we are as Americans. But increasingly, some of the rhetoric we're getting from the left, it's making it harder and harder to see it. So, I mean, if I had some general advice for people, I'm not telling you to get off of social media, but maybe stop deluding yourself into thinking it's reality. It's most certainly not. It's distorted reality.
Matt, I'm gonna jump in because we were able to get John Wisniewski on, and I just want to bring him into the conversation here, and initially get his take on the ad. Hi, good morning, John.
Good morning. I apologize for the technical difficulties.
Oh, it's that kind of day, so don't worry.
Mercury's in retrograde. We're on it. John, what did you think of the middle ad, the Jeep ad from the Super Bowl?
I was frankly a little confused by it. Were they trying to tell us buy a Jeep because Bruce Springsteen likes them? Were they trying to tell us buy a Jeep because of a middle? It was, I thought, a muddled message. Plus, I think everybody likes the concept of the middle, but very few of us have exactly the same definition of what the middle is. So it's a nice talking point. Everybody should come to the middle. But your middle and my middle are not the same middle.
So ironically, I think we just hit the middle because I feel like the two of you kind of had a similar answer where it was, what is the middle and what is the message of this commercial? Could it be? And
only when Mercury is retrograde can Matt Rooney and I have exactly the same opinion.
It was bound to happen eventually, John.
Infrequently do we have the same opinion.
Well, you know what was confusing too? Never mind the political message or anything else. Bruce is from Freehold, right? What is a boy from Freehold, New Jersey doing in the middle of Kansas with a cowboy hat and leading us to believe he's some sort of cowboy? That made no sense.
Well, it's all that message, I'm sure, was reviewed by lots of people who get paid a lot of money, who massage message points, and the cowboy hat and the location and all of that was, I'm sure, very well thought out and planned. But again, it's a nice message. It's a heartwarming message. We all need to come to the middle. But again, what is the middle? Do we believe the middle is that more people should be eligible to vote and we should make it easier? Does it mean that we need to provide more help for people who are struggling and can't make ends meet during the pandemic? These are things where we currently don't have a middle.
Wow. It's very, very sad. Cara, did you have something?
I didn't. I was trying to take in what John was saying and go to the next to the next point here. So you guys, I'm still kind of finding it human. I don't want to say funny, but just that you guys seem to really did have a similar response to the ad, and that it is a little bit confusing. Is it possible? I mean, a brand like Jeep, to me, when I saw that, I kind of felt like they're taking this opportunity to just kind of express their viewpoint as a brand, if you will, and not necessarily to sell their product or to, more that they were kind of taking that to make a stand and say, okay, at this point, we'd like to see the country come together. Did anybody else kind of gather something along those lines, or?
Well, would we all be talking about Jeeps right now if they hadn't put something out there that was controversial? There's value in that, right? They have us all talking. That certainly wasn't what I was planning on talking about on February 12th, right? But here we are. So to that extent, I think it was undeniably a success. But if their goal was to bring us together again, I think that you reach the middle by guys like myself and John being able to be in a room, disagree honestly, disagree passionately, but at the end of the day, he doesn't call me a racist lunatic and I don't call him an evil communist, and we go home. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill ran the country in the 1980s. It's possible, but we have to stop this cancel culture nonsense. Had Jeep done an anti-cancel culture ad and had Bruce up there with a conservative celebrity making that point, I think we'd all be clapping, or at least most of us would be.
You know,
I don't know that it's
Yeah.
strictly a cancel culture issue. I do think, going back to something that I overheard as I was in the waiting room to get into the show, Matt talking about, is that social media has made us collectively as a society, made lots of people essentially what they call snipers, right? They can shoot from a distance and no one can see them and no one can really get back at them. And so they hurl invective on any particular issue. Other people see that invective and they pile on. And that's become discourse now, as opposed to, as Matt's talking, as nostalgically we talk about Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill. Imagine that. But the fact is that there is not a level of discourse. And there's a lot of reasons. Social media is one of them, but also our lives have become immensely complicated. As a young man growing up in Sayreville politics, people got involved in a social space. They got involved in the local community. There was a place where people talked. There were events they went to. Now, people are so busy with their lives, so busy earning a living, and especially now with COVID, enforced restrictions, that we're all basically in individual bunkers, and it makes it hard to develop that sense of community. And if we're going to solve the problems we have to figure out a way just to have that sense of community, the civic space where if Matt wants to call me a leftist, if Matt wants to call me a socialist, he can, and I can explain to others why he's wrong. But we don't have that now.
Yeah. And this is not we could go on about this, but we have to wrap soon. I just wonder if this commercial, the reunited States of America, would have been made if Donald Trump was reelected president. Something tells me I don't think so. But we can table that discussion for another day.
Answer, not a chance.
Not a chance, and especially not with Bruce.
But I also don't think Bruce would have left the country.
No.
I think it would have been, it could have potentially been a different commercial, but it certainly wouldn't have been the reunited States of America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, thank you both so much for your time this morning. We always appreciate it. We hope we were able to have a little bit of fun with this, as well as get some good discussion points in. Again, thank you both for your time this morning. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Lots to talk about, Cara, with that. I mean, Jeep got what they wanted, though, right? I mean, they wanted buzz and water cooler talk, and love it or hate it, Jeep is on the tip of everyone's tongue. So
it's true. It's true. And it is one of the most, for me, it was one of the more memorable and emotion invoking commercials from the Super Bowl. So,
well, especially since the Super Bowl itself was kind of
well, the Super Bowl itself, yeah. I wanted to look at Tom Brady and go, you're going to win this game. Can't you at least make it good for everybody to watch and give them a chance?
Well, nobody predicted. As we know, we've had a lot of sports people on the past couple weeks. No one predicted that outcome. But
no.
Anyway, another video that's getting tons of attention this week. I'm not a cat. Have you seen this one, Cara?
I swear I am the only person in the country who is not amused by this video. I've seen it like 6 times and I'm like, I feel bad for the guy, but go ahead.
Well, when a judge in Texas started a virtual proceeding on Zoom, he was not expecting to see 2 lawyers and a kitten. One of the lawyers had a filter on and it turned him into a cat. Take a look.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take a look.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to the,
I am amused by it, as you can tell.
I'm amused by your amusement.
Just think about it, right? They're like serious lawyers and judges. Like they don't look like they have a funny bone in their body, right? And then
I get it.
It's hysterical. I mean, look, and there's been worse Zoom mishaps. That's a cute one, but it's very, very amusing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the part actually for me, it's I mean, I like the I am not a cat line, but the other thing, and I've found this through the whole pandemic is like, because everybody's wearing masks, how expressive people's eyes are. I mean, I always thought that was something, interesting about people in general, but you didn't realize, like, if you take all of this off, how expressive somebody's eyes are. And because it's still his eyes behind the filter, so you can like see them get real big and like panic, like, oh my God.
Hysterical. Well, the lawyer should have called his kid back into the room because obviously
apparently it was the kid
on Zoom and forgot to turn the filter off. So
quarantine life. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, your kids are home. My dog is here making noise. Everybody's working with the best of it for now. Oh my goodness. All right, Lisa, next up, how New Jersey ranks for singles. And we're talking Valentine's Day dinner with Dish It Girl Dina.
Hi, I'm Debbie Peterson, founder of the Wellness Gala. I'm very excited to bring you our television show, Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala. Each week, we'll be bringing you experts in the fields of health, beauty, and wellness. We'll also bring you great tools and options to help you lead your most fulfilling life. You can watch Balance Your Life with the Wellness Gala on News 12 Plus throughout the New York metropolitan area. You can find it at Verizon Fios Channel 530 or Optimum Channel 61.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back.
Good morning, New Jersey. I am Lisa Marie Falbo for the New Jersey Morning Show.
And I'm Cara Di Falco, and we have meteorologist Mike Favetta with us this morning because we have so much snow and there's more coming and everybody's over it. And I kind of feel bad for you, my friend, because I imagine you're not a popular guy these days.
Well, I've become a popular guy who the phone keeps ringing, people wanting forecasts, which is what I do for a living, so that's okay.
That's why it's good to be busy.
Right, but then I have also the forensic reports that I do for the accidents from 2 years ago. So it's like worlds colliding as we speak. Have all these reports due for the exactly, for the lawsuits of the slip and falls, and the attorneys are like, Mike, where's that report from 2 years ago? I'm like, I'm sorry, it won't stop snowing. I can't catch a breath because there's just another storm.
By the way, you know what I've noticed, Mike, since you've joined the show?
Yes.
That's when we have been in this snowy pattern.
Oh, okay. So
there's some sort of correlation here.
She might be onto something.
It's been more than once that I've been told I can make it snow or rain because today we're looking for some sunshine this afternoon with all of the sunny weather that will try and warm us up. We're going to attempt to get some mild weather in here, but we fail. I think temperatures do not make it above freezing, at least until Sunday. And the reason that there's that potential for ice, specifically in the northern corner of New Jersey, this is for Sunday afternoon on Valentine's Day. Likely see a 1/4 of an inch potential. Maybe some places only get, 1/10 of an inch potential, but there's that opportunity for a 1/4 of an inch going into Sunday. Then there's the southern half of New Jersey, which could also pick up some ice by Sunday evening. The trouble is there's this prolonged event that will keep us going into Tuesday, so the ice potential could even be greater with a 1/2 inch by Tuesday and even more down towards South Jersey. So you see this long band here of snow and ice. Really, this is the ice that will work its way to the south. All of that could eventually spill over into New Jersey over the course of the next few days. So the upcoming winter system, not necessarily all snow, it's more of an icy glaze that clings and weighs down things and could bring down some trees and power lines. Let's show you that 7-day forecast because there's going to be a pleasant finish to next week, but still an active pattern ahead. So we have Sunday with the snow and ice. We have Monday on President's Day, which should be clear. And then Tuesday, the second system prolongs that snow and ice into the middle of next week. And yet the parade of storms continues for beyond Mardi Gras on Tuesday, because by Thursday of next week, Cara and Lisa Marie, there is yet another round of snow and ice potential. So as we go from the coldest part of winter, which already passed, the beginning of February is the coldest part of winter. Now as we see some warmer air mix in, weather gets interesting, and ice is pretty hard to forecast. So I'm sure you'll be keeping tuned to see what the latest is.
Sounds like so much fun. You know, I'm only a couple weeks away from my due date, so it sounds like I'm going to be slipping and sliding to the hospital. That's going to be a lot of fun.
You walk like a penguin. That's what they teach the elderly. You walk like
We could just luge her there.
Yeah.
A luge. Oh. Yeah. Just sit and push.
Yeah. The movie is already playing in my head how this is all going to go down. So it'll be interesting. Thank you, Mike, so much. All right. Well, good news in time for Valentine's Day if you're single. A new survey finds New Jersey to be one of the best places for romance and fun. Wallet Hub's 2021's Best and Worst States for Singles finds that New Jersey is number 11. The ranking is based on the number of attractions and places to go on a date. But they did mention the cost of dating here is high because why not? Florida is the best state for singles. Texas is second, followed by Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and New York. New Mexico is the worst state for singles, followed by West Virginia, North Dakota, Hawaii, and Arkansas. All right, I'm a little confused by a couple of these.
As am I.
Wisconsin, where are you going in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, how is Hawaii a bad place for singles?
All right, I see. I could see Hawaii because I'm like, it's an island. Like your general population is limited. You know, you gotta get on a plane to like really mix and mingle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, Wisconsin. I don't know why that state just sticks out for me.
The Wisconsin,
I kind of know.
Even Florida. Florida,
right?
Florida's a weird state.
It's very. You know what though? It just makes me so happy that me and you, we don't have to worry about that period of time in our lives anymore.
Yeah,
because it was a doozy.
It was a doozy. I feel like we lucked out though. Like there was not internet dating at the time, and I think that we might have been better off for it.
Yeah, no. Definitely not.
Definitely not. Well, listen, for those of you who do have someone special in your life and are looking for something easy and delicious to make for them this weekend, we have you covered. Joining us live is Dina DeLisa Gonster. You know her from the reality show Married to Jonas, and she's behind the cooking and lifestyle blog Dish It Girl. Welcome. Hi, Dina.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys this morning?
Good morning.
That kitchen is gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey,
so what are you making?
I'm not the biggest design person, but I tried.
Well, you succeeded.
Thank you. So I have something super simple. It's got your pops of red. It's got a little bit of your pasta if you want to do a Lady and Tramp kind of moment here. But again, super simple, fresh ingredients. So what I did here really quickly is I started with about, I would say, 1/4 cup of olive oil in my pan. Here, you can kind of see. And I have some cherry tomatoes to give you that pop of red. So we just add in our cherry tomatoes. These have been cooking for a couple of minutes because I'm trying to get them blistered, which means the outside skin is going to be a little bit crinkly. That's my super technical term here, crinkly.
I like it.
Right? So you're going to saute them until they get crinkly. And I'm just going to press down with the back of my wooden spoon. You got to have a wooden spoon if you're a Jersey Italian girl. Right, girls?
Of course.
I know you guys know. So you're going to press down with the back of your spoon, and it's going to release some of the juices. And once I do that, then I like to add my garlic, which I know could be a little unconventional because normally you would add the garlic first with your olive oil. But I found every time I made this recipe, the garlic would start to burn because I have it chopped up or minced up. So I started adding it after my tomatoes had bursted. That way they're not burning the pieces of garlic. So I have my garlic. Yeah, I mean, at first I was like, oh man, so many people are going to get so mad about it. I'm like, but trust me, you still get the full garlic flavor without the burnt, which I kept doing over and over again.
And you know, it's so funny. I had worked with another chef who actually told that's how he makes his classic marinara sauce as well. He actually puts the garlic and the fresh herbs in at the end so that they have a light and fresh flavor versus a cooked in flavor. It's all a personal preference, I think.
Exactly. And I do too. I add the fresh herbs in at the end. If I'm using dried herbs, I'll use them earlier on, but I find fresh herbs better at the end. So you see, I just added a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of black pepper. And then the next thing I'm going to do, this is another thing that's a little unconventional. It's not your traditional, I guess, as my mom would call it, all Yule. So I just add like a tiny teaspoon of honey. And it just gives this like undertone of sweetness that just kind of offsets the garlic and the tartness of the cherry tomatoes, kind of lends more sweetness to the cherry tomatoes. So it's just this little secret thing that I do. And then I know with Valentine's Day, we like to have either a little bit of steak or a little bit of seafood. So adding a little bit of crab meat to this just makes it a little bit extra.
Oh, I like that.
There. So a little bit of crab meat goes into this. You're going to saute that as well. And then if you like, a little bit of red pepper flakes. Again, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy. It's Valentine's Day. Why not? And as much as you like. I mean, I like things on the spicier side, so I might give it 2 hits. But, you know, if you want to be conservative, just one is fine. And then at the end, again, this is Valentine's Day, so we're going to be a little bit more on the decadent side. I'm going to add in a little bit of butter, just a tablespoon, just a pat. You don't realize that in restaurants, they're pretty much doing that to you anyway. It gives the sauce kind of like a luxurious finish. So again, Valentine's Day, I have a little bit of fun. And then of course, I saved some of my pasta water for you guys. That helps the sauce adhere to your pasta. So I have about 1/4 cup of it, and this pasta water is salted. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit in here, and we're just going to let that come to a simmer together, and everything's going to kind of soak into that crab meat, and you're going to get a thicker sauce as it sautés here. And then I have my finished pasta. I use like a fettuccine. I like to use something that's a little bit thicker. When you have like the pieces of tomato and the pieces of crab, I find it sits on top a lot nicer there. So we're going to pour that on top. You can even, if you want, you can toss the pasta right in the saute pan if you like. And then of course, we're going to finish it with a little bit of fresh basil.
Love it.
How can you not? All right, and there you go. And maybe a little bit more kosher salt over the top, just for good luck there. And here you go. It's got some seafood. It's got the red. And again, you can have that lady and tramp moment if you'd like. So very simple. 15 minutes. You have more time to spend with the one you love. Super easy and simple.
I love it, Dina. And, you know, so many people are going to be celebrating at home and cooking for themselves, maybe some for the first time this year, as we're all kind of finding the best way to make this work. Where can
100%.
Folks find this recipe and others?
You can find this recipe at dishitgirl.com.
Dina, and what other kind of recipes do you have on your blog there?
So we have everything ranging from fun family meals to date night meals. You've got your standard chicken, and even if you want to go into some fancy salads, got a little bit of dessert coming your way. I mean, things that I like to serve with this for Valentine's Day would be maybe just some London broil and some crostini, so you have some surf and turf going there. If you have a little bit of a crowd for Valentine's Day, like maybe you're a family of 5, you want to do a baked penne vodka, that's up on the website too. Nothing says love like some creamy pasta, in my opinion.
Agreed. All right, Dina, thank you so much for joining us. You can learn about Dina and check out her recipes once again at dishitgirl.com. Dina, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for this delicious recipe. We will see you guys. We'll see you soon. And coming up, we have Dolores Catania talking about the new season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. We'll be right back.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Swing the hips. Oh boy, they weren't kidding. Whew.
You're looking for a gold crown.
Sure. So you say you're helping people through. How are you doing that?
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I am Lisa Marie Falbo.
I'm Cara Di Falco, and we have meteorologist Mike Favetta once again with us this morning because the snow will not stop.
No, it will not stop. In fact, we still have more ice and snow now in the forecast. This is an event that I think is making people wonder, is this going to be a really bad winter? I mean, I think we could already answer that question.
That box has been checked already.
Yeah, twice the amount of average snowfall than we would at this point in winter, and here we are on February 12th. So a lot more of icy weather to come. And we enjoyed some sunshine this morning in New Jersey, which is good if you're in the northeastern corner of the state. So let's show you those maps, because if you're waking up right now down in the southern portion of New Jersey, you mostly clouds will hang around going throughout this evening, bringing back the potential for another round of kind of a gray scene. So there you go, the northeastern corner of the state, nice and sunny right now, and we kind of carved out this lovely feeling with that sunshine early on today. So here's that area of nice and sunny, whereas the clouds stay down to our south, and these clouds will keep working their way to the east over the course of the day, and even working into the northeastern corner of New Jersey for the afternoon. So say goodbye to the sun, at least until we get to tomorrow. Let's check that 7-day forecast one last time, because I think with the potential for some ice that will take over later on in the weekend, specifically on Valentine's Day, that could cause some slick and slippery conditions. But another round of ice and snow on Tuesday for Mardi Gras could even accrete and cling to the power lines and tree branches, making for some issues with power outages. And then Thursday, another storm in the parade of storms that heads our way for the next week. So we're not quite done with winter just yet. And this active pattern that we've been in, like you mentioned so eloquently, Lisa Marie, since I joined the show, continues for at least the next few days, probably the next 10 days, until we finally see a more consistent pattern that will take us into the rest of the week. So it's going to be another round of ice and snow for Sunday, and then we finally bring the, well, spring-like feel back, at least down the road. I don't know about the groundhog, but it's that rodent that kind of gives everyone anxiety, especially meteorologists. But we're looking forward to the warmer days of spring.
Yeah, I won't be sad when you can retire that snowflake graphic, Mike.
That'll be nice. That'll be the day.
Yes, happy day. Thank you so much, Mike. Well, Cara, we have a very special guest joining the show here today. Dolores Catania from The Real Housewives of New Jersey. They are debuting, believe it or not, season 11 of the hit Bravo show. I cannot believe it's been that long. On February 17th, and it is sure not to disappoint. Dolores, how are you? Can you hear us, Dolores?
Oh, I think we might have lost her.
Retrograde.
I was going to say, all morning long, Mercury
I know
retrograde.
that she is in the car en route to New York with a heavy promo schedule. So we're just happy that she could have taken the time this morning to talk with us. But, you know, I don't know if you watch the Housewives, if you're into it, but
I have not watched Housewives since what's her face got arrested.
Teresa.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell I'm a big fan. No, you know, because when Housewives came out, I think around the same time that Jersey Shore kind of did.
Yeah.
And I felt like we just had like this whole series of shows that made the Garden State really look like a bunch of poorly behaved people.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? The Jersey Shore cast, they're still kicking on. Speaking of Super Bowl commercials, you know, we've been talking about the Springsteen commercial all morning. Snooki was in a Super Bowl commercial. for the new streaming platform for Paramount. So
yeah,
you know, like Cake Boss, he's still around. So I mean, you know, they're legacy acts here in the Garden State.
They are, and absolutely. And, you know, of course, Lisa, you and I have both been in production for a long time. I mean, we all know reality TV is very far from reality. So, you know, I think a lot of it doesn't, you know, it's not necessarily a real reflection of even the people who are involved. I think we have Dolores back.
Dolores.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I loved listening to that. That was so amazing just now. You can't beat Jersey. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot beat Jersey. I'm a big lover of New York, but Snooki has a commercial. Like what?
Yes.
That's congratulations, Snooki.
For the Paramount streaming network. I was so surprised to see that during the Super Bowl. So good for her.
Wow, good for you, Snooki. Yes, as bad behavior must pay off, I guess, for all of us.
Yes, exactly. So Dolores, how are you doing this morning? I am sure you are so excited to finally kick off your new season on February 17th.
I am so excited about this season, and you know, it's a surprise to really what came about this season. It just is so great. I don't brag about anything. I don't brag about my kids. I don't brag about things. I swear to God. But this is really, I am excited. It's something to look forward to, guys. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading up on what to expect, and I see that Andy Cohen is loving what is happening with you guys.
You know what? You're cutting out. I don't know why it's such a bad connection right now. It's hard.
Oh,
to hear
okay.
you.
I'll repeat the question. Andy Cohen, he is raving about the season. He is saying all sorts of things to the press about how dramatic and fiery everything is.
It's very,
which I find very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm excited that he's excited. He knows what's good. And, you know, we went into the season being like, God, we're not getting any international trips. We can't have any of the big parties where a lot of drama happens. We were down one housewife, as you know. One left, Danielle Staub, is no longer there. And I'm like, you know, we've been home. It's been a pandemic, but a lot more went on at home than we thought, that we didn't realize until all the emotions came out, and a lot of people can relate to it.
Yeah. How was it filming this season with all the COVID protocols and being home?
It was super strict. Part of the protocol was, are you ready? They would come in and bleach my house before the crew was allowed in, which I did not mind at all. My house needs to be bleached. I have dogs all over the place and kids running in and out. They could have done that 10 times a day. I don't care. But so it was, the house needed to be bleached. We got, then they came in and they had on full masks and covers. And when we weren't filming a scene in our own home, we had to wear a mask in our own home the days we were filming. The testing 3 times a week, and we all had our own conscience. Like, we weren't breaking the rules of going out. We didn't go out. I could speak for my cast members, because if one person got sick, you lose the momentum of the storyline. And something that you might not see is my ex-husband Frank broke both his legs the beginning of the last season, the season that we were going to be filming for this 11. And it was like, you know what? It was a great storyline. It really showed the true relationship between my husband, my boyfriend, and me. And he was in a hospital bed in David's house. So all that has gotten cut out because we had to stop filming because of the lockdown and start up again. So anytime there was a break in filming, you lose the momentum of the storyline, which luckily, once we started for good, we didn't stop. So we're good.
So let's talk about your upcoming storyline this year. I know one of the episodes features you visiting and getting healed by a very good friend of ours, Arturo Mesquite. I am so excited to see how this episode comes out because we both love Arturo very, very much.
Yes, we definitely bonded over Arturo, and he's amazing. And we do want, you and I both want to share him with everyone.
Yeah.
His healing and everything else. He's done so much for the both of us. And you can go for different reasons. We've been there for physical things and even emotional things. And I did need him. And I want other people to realize that there are things that we need to get and address in our lives before you could really move on. And that's part of it.
Yeah. What else can we expect from you this season?
Well, you do see me cry for the first time. My aunts and my mother and my sisters are like, what happened that you cried? And I'm like, just stay tuned. I'm okay, but stay tuned. It's not what you think. So there's a little twist to it. I had a health scare this season, which I hope a lot of women learn from something that I've been through. That's another thing. And you can expect the cast is, the girls are hard on me about certain things in my life. So that explodes. It's a lot. There's peer pressure, girlfriends. I agree that girlfriends deserve to have an opinion in your life if you're close with them. But sometimes it gets to be a little much. So you'll see a lot of explosive moments.
It sounds like, though, that there's no signs of stopping for this show. I mean, it sounds like you're having, the time of your life doing it, right? So it's safe to say that there will be a season 12 after this and beyond.
God willing.
Yes.
Definitely after this season. And then, you have, there's a lot of unpredictable situations that people will not even know. A lot of times you see stuff brewing the season before. This stuff that happens now, you never saw it coming. Even with other people in the cast. It's crazy. Right from the first episode is crazy. Did you see it yet?
No, not yet. Mm-mm.
Okay. You'll see. And I want your opinion when.
I will. No, I will definitely be tuning in and I will let you know for sure. Well, Dolores, this was so much fun this morning. Thank you for taking a few minutes to call in here today. And I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Your show's great. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dolores. Have a great day.
Soon.
Bye.
All right, Lisa Marie, man, was that a action-packed show with
action-packed,
Mercury in retrograde
galore. But you know what? It really came together, and I thought it was dynamite.
We made it work. We absolutely did. With special thanks to meteorologist Mike Favetta for letting us know that there's more snow coming. But certainly we appreciate it. And thank you to all of our guests for taking time to talk with us today. That is it for us this week. Remember, Friday mornings, 9 a.m., NJ On Air, the New Jersey Morning Show. We'll see you guys next week.